Hello, self, Nick, mirror, Ohana. It's February 26th, 2025. This is Magic Mirror Work Part 2. I said I might do that because I've got time to myself today. I got the place to myself, got the balcony to myself, got the sunshine to myself. And so, here we are. Again, this isn't the stuff for public consumption. And if you really want to hear what's going on with me, by me, through me, you can. I'm not doing this for you though, I'm doing this for me, which is why it'll be in black and white. It's me seeing myself, seeing both sides being asymmetric, double eyelid, single eyelid, and I might say some crazy shit. And that's part of my practice, is not to try to show up in a certain way, but to show up just as I am. And it's still a practice, because it's so easy to keep coming back. So I just recorded 2 videos, one for the pricing of Ohana Breath and the other for Ohana Sage Soul Immersion. What I see right now is what we're trying to create. And then I recorded one earlier as well for Ohana Breath and private sessions in general. And so all of these things I'm looking at, how do I change? Because there's a lot of incoming interest that's going to happen. I just did the weekend with Judy Brooks and Immerse Yourself called The Unconventional, and led what felt like a fantastic breath with many people. I've heard from many, and obviously everyone has their own experience and some of it's still unfolding, but it was so magical to be with a room and have co-facilitators and have the trust and have the smudging. Becky was there doing smudging, and God, that was phenomenal. And then just being able to work and guide and love and hold and play and talk and play with the music, and have people enjoy the music as well. All of the different components, and then to be in that space again. And then for myself, I still have bruises on my legs from doing the, oh my God, I can't recall what that's called again, but there was another breath that happened before me, and that was so cool too, having other breaths actually happen beforehand and other modalities to guide people into what we were doing. And that's so much fun in the sense that everyone is so warmed up for it. Like, it's almost impossible to not have an experience. Which reminds me again why I'm doing the soul immersions the way I'm doing, is creating it so it almost feels inevitable that you're going to have a magnificent, transformative, safe experience. And that's the piece that I'm seeing for some of the people that are interested in what we're doing. And it's pairing up their wants and their desires for the change with the fears of going through the process, and reminding them that there's a reason why we've created this way, so it can actually address the fears that you have going through the process. Some people are super excited going, oh my God, I want to change everything. And that's some of me. I can't wait to dive in these experiences and have this massive shift in a way. And then some people are like, I kind of want it, but I'm more terrified than anything else. And I remember being there because I had had challenging experiences, whether it was near psychosis, or psychosis actually, let's just say psychosis, whether it was obliteration into nothingness, whether it was burning up my whole body, where there was death experiences over and over again. And then I was like, do I really want to do this? Like, I know I have the capacity to, but doesn't mean I want to. And those are 2 entirely different things. And I'm so grateful for some amazing teachers, guides, medicine people to have guided me through that process, because now I don't remember the last time I haven't been excited about a journey or holding a journey. And that's part of my own barometer. It's like, if I'm looking forward to playing, it doesn't mean I'm not nervous. So this weekend, for example, I'm going to be going through the breakthrough experience with Dr. John DeMartini and his daughter Elena DeMartini and a few other facilitators. And there's a part of me that's super, oh God, what am I going to go through? What's going to come up? And am I ready for this? Am I thinking about it enough? That's part of what I'm going to read a little bit more. Breakthrough experience, reading and preparing for that and making the most of it. That's probably my reminder. It's Wednesday of this week, and taking the Thursday and Friday and today as much as I can to prepare for the breakthrough experience, because it is going to be a breakthrough. It really is. I can see this theory and this process making a huge impact on where life is at right now, and noticing any stories that may be there still. And I can feel the tension, because there's a part of me that says, I want to be in the hot seat, but I'm scared. What if I don't make the most of the hot seat? Like, what if I'm on there and it's not for what I really want? And what if I get really slippery? And then trusting. Like, he's done over 1,000 of these. This is the beautiful thing. I want to actually be on the hot seat with someone who's done 1,000 of these. And if it doesn't happen this time, it's going to happen. And that's part of what I anticipate will happen with Elena as well. And part of this is to create self-work. Like, how do you do this yourself? Just hearing Mr. Hummingbird around us as well right now. So just funny that there's all these energies. Drinking lots of juice today. Part of me, because the family's away, is like, woohoo, let's celebrate. Let's put a bunch of shit in my body. Like yesterday, I put some chips in my body and did not feel so good afterwards. So trying to remember that without making it wrong. Recognizing I'm drinking lots of beets, lots of carrots, and these are powerful things because these are from a biodynamic farm as well. So letting my body be with all the power, as Kofi and I like to say. So the things that I'm doing, lots of interest coming into Ohana Breath. I am looking forward to more partnerships with people to create things that feel good. And a lot of the times it's how do we fill it? And recognizing some people are really good at that and some people are really good at delivering the things. I have a bit of both. I have people who want to come to my breath, but I haven't created anything yet because unless I find a partner who really wants to and sees it, then there's a little bit of a block. And some of it could be with an elegant mind. I still haven't asked them for my part of the money for that. It's so funny that there's been so much stuff. And it's okay. It's okay. Taking a breath. Taking a breath. So many events, so much joy, so much fun, so much play, so much pleasure. How to play my part. How to play my part. Being really good at delivering, being really good at speaking, being really good at guiding. And then noticing, so these past couple days, yesterday especially, I could notice, because I wasn't alone at home, or this is the story at least, I was like, I have to keep up, I have to show up a certain way, I can't just do the thing I want to do. And it's a reminder, like today, much more clear, much better at it. And there's a part of me that just wanted to fuck off. And if I do, to let myself actually fuck off, like watch something, diddle, read, rest. Even right now, don't try to be productive. Don't try to do the mirror work. And this magic mirror work, it's magical. How many of us can say we're actually recording videos of ourselves over and over and over again? And I could look at this as selfish, as vanity, as idiotic, and over and over again, it's releasing the channel, it's releasing the masks. And that was such a beautiful part. I keep coming back to it, and I'm going to keep coming back to it. Acting, real acting is just channeling. Real magic mirror work is just channeling. It's channeling me to me. And it may actually serve someone else, but even more, it will probably serve in the future to have some AI summary of every single one of these mirror sessions. Right? At the end of it, have some AI summary transcript, AI summary edits, and then if someone really wants, they can go back to the source material. It's important to have the source material though. And that's the piece that's going to come up eventually is in the future with so much AI, how do we know what's real, what's not? Even with the source material, how do we know what's not distorted? Like one little distortion in one word can change the whole meaning of something. And just even as I'm talking, I've noticed it's like that slight lag in the video that I'm watching because there's a slight lag in the mirror work. And then my brain's going, okay, in the future, can we even notice that? Because that's the premise of that TV show, Capture. And if you haven't seen that British TV show yet, I think it's still on Netflix or Prime. It's fucking fantastic and it's fucking terrifying. Because part of me knows it's already true. How much can actually be modulated, modified? And so what can we really trust? And part of it is, how do we just trust ourselves? How do I trust me? Not trying to outsource to some outside authority and say, all right, with enough proof, that's trust. Even my senses. Like, how do I know I'm not in the matrix inside some kind of bubble and this is just some kind of permutation of reality? And then I'm remembering that scene when he cuts in the steaks, like, I know this is fake, but it tastes fucking delicious. And that was it, just tasting this. It was like, it tastes delicious. And do I want some fat? Yeah. Do I want some salt? Yeah. Do I want some sugar? Yeah. There is sugar in this. There isn't much fat. There isn't much salt. Yeah, part of me wants the pork rind chips that I have, or some of the tortilla chips. It doesn't mean I can't have a little bit. It means it's actually being clear how much and why and what. And then there's the leftovers of the chicken wings, and then there's the salmon that's here, and there's all these things for dinner. Grateful for my son having some really good friends that he likes playing with, and he's continuing to guide us to explore. How does he want to live? What support do we need so that he actually gets the maximal experience of life? And that's it right now, as I'm hearing more and more like, how do bad things happen to good people? I find it's being accentuated because we're not in community in the same way. When we're so used to taking care of things ourselves and not talking and not sharing, like you'll find out after a while that someone's been suffering for a while. When they get suffering for so long, they're like, I don't know who I can talk to, any support. Better to just keep holding up and depending on just the people closest to me. And that's how we get more and more into that, versus as invasive as it can be in the old communities, so everyone knows everyone's stuff, you never get to the point where you're completely isolated, where someone hasn't had the chance to notice you. And for me, part of it is not to try to think I'm above it. I do the same thing, and that's part of my biggest challenge, is when I self-isolate. My pattern is being tickled, whether feeling like I am not meeting someone else's approval, or it's becoming impossible, or another thing on my plate, and then feeling overwhelmed, and then shutting down, armoring up, and blaming and making you wrong for what's going on. And then judging, and then from there being righteous, going, I'm righteous, I'm right, you're wrong, why can't you figure your shit out? And if you did figure your shit out, I wouldn't be in this situation. And then staying stuck there for a while, because that's the place and time I get to take a break from everything. And then eventually in that break coming out and saying, I don't want to live my life like this. I don't want to be this isolated from everyone else, and slowly tiptoeing my way back in, while realizing there's so many things lying in the background. Like I've got so many skeletons in the closet, I keep shoving it in and closing it up. And it's a reflection of the home. There's so many things in the closet, shove in, close up. And part of it will be looking at that next week, this coming week, and saying, okay, how can we do this coming week? All right. Finding homes for things. Floating shelves, many shelves. Planning and concentrating all the work that needs to be done. I'm just thinking of Francis or anyone else coming over and doing a bunch of handiwork at once, putting the legs on the table, putting the shelves on the wall, putting up some more floating shelves, other things like that. And then just realizing I'm nervous and I'm scared. And then just trusting the process. Trusting the progress of life. What can I say? What can I say? What can I say? I can say that sitting down like this, getting a little stuff, so it's okay to move, because this, again, video is for me and not for someone else, and that I sometimes forget. Noticing that setting that on that table doesn't work so well. Noticing there's an angle here as well, but we can try that. I have to bring it down some. There we go. This is life, this is me, this is looking at the mountains. It's bright out and it's wonderful. It's practicing letting in a different amount of light. Looking up on the hill of Port Coquitlam and recognizing I have an ex-girlfriend's family that used to live up there. Looking at all the trees and just breathing in all that energy, looking at all these clouds, feeling a little pain in my left foot as well. This week we had an amazing traditional Chinese medicine doctor. I've had a great call with Elena DiMartini that really helped resolve things. So I was looking at what are the top 3 things this year again. What are the top 3 things? And I feel scared the moment I say it, like real business success, and how do I make it actually, what does success mean? Does it mean money? Does it mean the creation easy, lucrative, and fun? So the systems are present and in place. The banking is all automated. Matt, Marika, and I are continuing just to develop things, and every time we put something together, we put together a waiting list, and it fills so quickly because there's such a clarity in what we're providing and delivering, and we're building out our team, and people are coming, and we're getting more and more clear how do we self-select and hire, and then continuously improve in the ways that matter to us and the ways that matter to our clients. Like that client experience is so important to me. I want to have a client experience manager that really just delights in making it better and better and better. That's the Unreasonable Hospitality book, Unreasonable Hospitality. And that foundational piece of this business of spirituality feeling so good and continuing to layer and layer and layer, because it's almost like creating an amazing omakase fine dining restaurant. That's what I'm creating actually. Omakase. Soul immersion, soul omakase. So omakase is a word that we might take in, which is chef's choice. And that's part of what we're doing, is that we actually have a chef's choice here. And so that may be a future offering where it's really omakase. And you've got a budget and you lay it down and we're going to use it. And you can say either we're going to use all of it or we're going to use it a la carte. Yeah. Oh, so exciting. So exciting. Okay. And then family-wise, family is such a big piece. It's getting ourselves ready for Mage, a second soul. That's part of why Iris had to just contemplate that. It's like, which means, hey, do we want to actually go on a real trip before we have our second child? Hey, do we want to live in a two-bedroom condo? Hey, what kind of home does it want to look like? Hey, what kind of support does it want to look like? Because we know that for ourselves, we don't be taken care of all the time. And hey, how do we have someone like Teacher Flether with us all the time whenever we want? And how do we get the support we need? And how do we get the financial part in place? And then the third thing, and all these tie back to my main thing, which is my own consciousness, is that financial wealth. Hey, things are fucking automated. I've got different pools and things are moving along. Essentially, we're starting our first trust funds. And finding our ways into investments that really mean something to us. But even bigger than that, we just have automated money going to savings, going to investments, and then we actually get to choose and play with from there. And it feels like it's diversifying on its own. It feels like it just keeps growing on its own. $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, $5,000, $10,000 a month is going into this place where it's like, woohoo! We're free, bitches. Yes. Yes. And then my own consciousness, like as we're going through the year, being so clear, this is the program, this is the course that I want to do, and I'm going to do it. And I'm going to take the time to do these deep dives with Elena, with Dr. John, with other people, where it's like going to Egypt with Matthias and Robert, like actually doing something like that. Having like 10 days with John and going deep into his wisdom work, like really diving into it and feeling, oh my God, almost overwhelmed with how much stuff is coming in, and having the space to do that as well, like having the home that actually fits that, like definitely having at least a 4-bedroom home. One of the rooms is the office, one is a Zen den, one is the other child's room, or breakout room, or however we want to call it, and seeing what that looks like. Like being really clear what we want each room to be. And I'm gonna say my piece, invite my beloved to say her piece, and then we'll bring it together. And then have a great mud room, have places for storage, really efficient storage, but also not try to fill up the storage. And just loving this process, Okay. I'm just trying to breathe with this and breathe through this. There's a part of me that's freaking nervous about all of this. And it's all right that I am. It's all right that I am. It's all right that I am. So, what else? What else is exciting? Oh yeah, what's gonna get in the way? Whose opinion? So the opinion I'm afraid of is, it's the people close to me. My beloved, my best friend, my parents, my brother, my former teachers, my teachers. Like, what will they think as they hear more about what's going on? Oh my God, what are you doing? Are you so full of yourself? You're working with this? And then letting it go. I am going to say out loud, yeah, I want to work with the Elon Musks. I want to work with the Danny Morels. I want to work with the Peter Crones and everyone else. And I want to let go of them being the target. They will show up when they want to show up. They're very clear on themselves. I don't need to try to seek them. By the time I'm at a place where I am going to be sought after, they'll find me. And there are people, like other people in my life that I've come across that I can actually just invite into. It's just like this upcoming breath I'm doing. It's like I invited it, it's happening. Let's make the most of it. Trust myself to guide this. Trust myself in the moment to let go of the trying for a specific outcome. This is just the beginning. Over and over again, it's going to be just the beginning. And then take it from there. And then what's the next step, the next step, the next step? It's going to be so much fun. Guiding each and every person through things, oh man, guiding whole teams, great. I can't wait to guide conscious teams, guide conscious teams. I can't wait to be that person. I can't wait to be ready for all of this. And I am ready for all of this now. I have a team in place. And we're going to do one thing at a time, one thing at a time, one thing at a time. So, then there's the craziness, the Bitcoin breath, the other outsized promotional stuff that we're going to do once we actually get these foundational pieces set. Like when we have the first version of these foundational pieces set, we can actually start putting into place some crazy promotional side of things. Let's see what happens. Let's see how it goes. Let's make this bet that incentives matter. And what are the incentives that actually matter? Put it out there. Hey, I've got this idea. What do you think? What do you think? What do you think? Let's start noodling it for ourselves and have it all in place. Have the back end in place so that we can actually do this. Just gonna move over here for a second. Get my juice. Whoopsie. And this tracking is pretty fun, I won't lie. And I can't wait to have this in the native app. And I wish the native app was able to show me how my audio, the volume is doing. Because it would suck for it to just cut out and lose it. But trust. Trust in the technology, trust in life, trust that anything I do, I can do again. And that's the piece as well. I'm building up my resilience so that anything that happens can happen again and again and again. I can keep dancing with this. And it's funny noticing that. I might put on the noise canceling because I notice some background noise up here that I can hear. And being able to notice that, yeah, it turned a little bit yellow. That's Naval Ravikant. He's like, I want a universe where 999 times I can still have this version of success, of wealth accumulation, everything else. And right now I have the knowledge pieces that are there, the implementation, the action isn't quite there. And the why isn't big enough yet to actually implement it. It's continuing to raise the part about, okay, getting the house in order changes everything. Clearing out the old baggage changes everything. And And wanting to get the house in order versus getting the stacks in order first, sometimes it's leveling it up together. And so hiring the people to declutter, hiring the people to actually help clear out the accounting stuff, hiring the people to actually help clear out the banking stuff, all of that is important. And that's a piece that I want, and how do I actually implement it? Okay. Getting people excited about XX Camp, getting people excited about the soul immersion, getting people excited about what we're up to, getting people excited about what's next. Not easy, not hard. Not easy, not hard. Not easy, not hard. Easy. Defying gravity. We watched Wicked as a family. I didn't think that was possible. I didn't think that they would love it as much as I do, and we did. And I love it. We had such a good time. It is a fantastic movie, and I can see little edges, and I can see the irony of it all the self-censoring we're doing. Like, what is it about us right now that's trying to self-censor so much, that has this righteous stand? Let's uninvite this person because they have a view that we disagree with. And what message does that send? It's like, what are we, in kindergarten again? Like, is that how we want to do things? Like, sure, I don't want a 25% tax on things either. And if it is, it is. It's gonna suck for a bit. And it's time for a change. Like, right now, noticing that things aren't really working. So many things aren't really working. Whether it's the construction of these condo buildings and how actually solid they are versus what's underneath this exterior facade veneer that could break down. Whether it's the rules and the regulations that block out the roads that, people are like, it's not my problem. Whether it's the healthcare system where there's so much disease and it's not really working, but you can't actually do anything else because we focus so much energy on saying, that can't work. Versus, hey, this whole idea of the scientific method, did we actually stratify with methods properly? And that's the thing. Who is the person that's actually delivering it? Where are they at in their own consciousness? This is a scared researcher that doesn't believe it's going to work. Is it not surprising that it's more likely to not work then? And it's true, if it does work, then it's a huge piece of evidence. And notice how you're already framing things. Notice the framing. It's like someone saying, I don't believe I can build a skyscraper, but I'm going to start anyway and see what happens. And you give me the instructions and we'll see if I can do it. It's probably going to fall down. How do we support people who believe in what they're doing truly to go through with it, even if it doesn't work out? Failure is an option. All those people believe in the SpaceX rocket. You can't launch a rocket if you don't believe in it. It doesn't mean you can't miss something, especially when something is that precise. Same thing with what we're doing right now, and why I'm building up all these muscles is so that I can actually play and dance with whatever comes up, because that's part of it. As we're launching the rocket ship, it's not, hey, how do I read this book at this point? It's like, hey, can I roll with this and run with this and make it mean and create the perfection in it, while at the same time recognizing the next time, how do we change things up, because we're going to launch an even bigger rocket ship. Over and over again, that's what we're doing. Over and over again, we each have our skills. And for example, Matt doing all this dancing, he really knows how to dance with things. And that's part of it for me too. I'm going to practice. And I can see now better how dancing plays a part in the body movements, and how doing things that I'm not really good at, and how do I play and practice in different ways? Okay, let's figure out what are the things that are wanted in me actually practicing being handy, to help develop a different skill, to develop a different mindset, to start thinking, looking at things differently. All right, let's keep looking at that, because if it's something that's important to my family, how do I make it important to me? And then as well, at the same time, realizing and recognizing, I am doing this more for you, in a way, as a higher priority action. If it was up to me, this would not be a high priority action, and that's okay. And we get to look in the future. Do we want to keep doing things this way, to have you be doing these as high priority actions? Loud noise in the background right now. Train going by. hearing the reflection coming off the building there, which is hitting my ears more so than straight up. And because the mic's a little bit lower than me, who knows? And enjoying this, I'm practicing moving while talking because I'm not trying to do this for anyone other than me. So in which case, if you can't see my face, if it's distracting that I'm doing this, it's all right. And then every now and then I can look and say, hello, me. And that's the magic mirror work. How often am I seeing me? Seeing what I'm doing, seeing that it matters, seeing that I have impact. I have so much impact on the people closest to me. And I'm dedicated to spending more time with them. And it can seem silly. There's people that want a piece of me, and I'm grateful that they do. Just being with some of the stiffness in this body. Just being with some of the stiffness in this body. Just being with some of the stiffness in this body. And letting it change. Someone is not right, someone is not wrong. And I jump from modality to modality as well. And part of it is it's both seeing my quote unquote hypocrisy, like how do I actually have the longitudinal container? And part of it for me right now is to notice my own pulls to certain things. I am working on developing these things for others by developing for myself. And then noticing my own money stories as well. And there's a big piece of that. We've been spending money. This has been a huge investment in our lives over the last couple of years. And I imagine it's going to pay super dividends, like super dividends. The best thing we can invest in is ourselves. And I forget that that is the asset class. And it's not just about getting ready for what might possibly go wrong, disability insurance, health insurance, all that stuff. But what might actually go right. And it's a balance of both. And remind myself the wrong part, that's the currency of trust. That's the community. And it's not just GoFundMe pages. It's actually supporting people to support themselves. And then over and over, I remind my beloved that if there's someone that's really important to her, that I will support them in the ways that she wants. That matters to me. And that matters to me more than the other actions that I could do. That's actually my highest priority action, I believe. Whether it's leading breaths, leading ceremonies, leading groups, leading guidance, like that's what I really want to do. And I want to explore it. I want to chat with someone who wants to receive that. And right now I'm doing this for me because I want to receive me. That's the magic mirror work, getting to the point where I want to receive me and my own teachings. So what are my teachings for myself? What is my higher future self trying to tell me in these moments? I can get taller. Drank almost a liter of juice already today. There's quite an intensity about having all this. I'm going to put this back in the fridge in a moment. I'm going to head downstairs in a moment. Got into about 33 minutes. So it'll be time soon to check on what's next. To check on downstairs, to check on the room, to start cleaning it up, clearing it out. So I'm going to keep shifting things up. If I come back to the third part, that's great. And if I don't, that's great. Thank you, self, higher future self. Thank you, family. Thank you, Magic Mirror. Thank you, Cosmos, for this life. Ciao for now.